A Kalahari Bushman said, you must wake up twice every morning. You must wake up your body and get out of bed, and then you must wake up your heart to the touch of the world upon it.
The body likes circles. It likes circular environments. Right angles come from the intellect. They don't exist in nature. So there are all these invisible stresses working on you that you don't even know. Most people are just not aware where the stress is coming from, but it's coming from their environment.
We are all one, and obviously there are aspects of ourselves that need to learn how that feels, what it's going to feel like to be on this planet as we destroy certain aspects of it.
What a wonder. I can't imagine that anybody is not secretly head over heels in love with this world. It's such a delicious place, and frightening, and difficult, and shot through with shadow.
You go into the world and you have the response of the heart to what's presented to the senses, and we're being touched by communications from the natural world every millisecond of every day of our lives. And we are virtually the only culture on the face of the earth that has no training or capacity to respond to it at all, because we are trained out of the use of our hearts, trained out of the response of our hearts to the world. That's the insanity present in the Western approach to science and technology, and it's killing all of us.
The whole thing is an experiment. It's a great experiment of the West inventing technologies that interfere with macrocosmic forces, and the degree to which it can control those forces and the degree to which it has to submit to being controlled by them is what history is. That's what's unfolding right now, and it's something that has to be survived through, lived through. It can't be controlled.
When we drive these huge drills into the heart of our home and pollute our life force and destroy people's lives, we're learning. We may not like what we're learning, but obviously we need to learn that.
I wonder if gravity itself could not be understood as eros, as this deeper eros always going on between our body and the body of the earth, so that the erotic attractions that we know of and acknowledge between ourselves and other people are just like waves on the surface of this thick ocean of eros, always going on, always being felt between our body and the body of the earth.
One of the things I like about art making is that it privileges the sense. And for me, that's been enormously unifying and inspiring and confirming that the psychological doesn't live over here and then the spiritual over here or here, My sense of realm is that tissue is spirit.
The thing about art is that the artist is always ahead of what's going to happen, and you can find this again and again. Some artists will see something that happens decades later. They're preparing you. The artists are preparing you for what's about to happen. They're giving you the tools to adjust your sense ratios to live with the coming environment before it actually happens.
Scientists will agree to a certain extent that dolphins and chimpanzees do have a great deal of intellectual capacity, but they won't agree that a janitor does. Janitors aren't worth as much because they don't think as well. And that's just flat out the way it is here in this country. We're caught up in a hierarchy of values based on I think, therefore I am, not I feel, therefore I am.
So in the Western world, there is a disconnect between our emotional life and our rational life. Though we say human beings are rational choice makers, I doubt it. We are emotional choice makers.
We're afraid to believe different things. We're afraid to look at possibilities. We're afraid to experience stuff. You dissolve all those barriers, then you have an exceptional experience.
We're not alone here. There are many other styles of intelligence that are supporting and surrounding us and in relation to us, who we can consult.
Instantaneously, I felt this tree's energy. Everything is interconnected. It's all interconnected by an energy. I'm not separate. My energy really isn't separate from the energy of the tree, from the energy of you, from the energy of the sunflowers, from the energy of what we in Western culture call God. It's all the same energy.
There's sacred space between every breath that we take. There is sacred space. And that's the whole point of all of it, is that origin doesn't disappear. It's right here. It's with us.
Visitors are driven around this road of the future for more than half a mile, up the spiral ramp, showing how traffic can be lifted to the express level without wasting space. The road of tomorrow.
It's a smog mask, carrying a few cubic feet of pure salubrious air for its wearer to breathe, complete with a candle-powered defroster. A bit cumbersome, murmur the skeptical, but some people persist in trying to do something about the weather.
With the possibility of a grave infantile paralysis epidemic, San Antonio health authorities attack germ carriers on a citywide front. With war-discovered DDT and special sprayers, sections of the city are literally fogged with the insecticide in the fight to stop the spread of polio.
When I was a boy, said my daddy to me, stay out of the mines, take my warning, said he, or with dust you'll be choked and a pauper you'll be broken down, down, down.
Farmington, West Virginia, November 20th, 1968. An explosion spread by coal dust and methane rips through 9 working sections on the west side of the mine. 78 miners die in the blast. Recovery operations continue until mid-1978, and the mine is permanently sealed in November, leaving 19 victims buried inside.
And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Well, they dug for their coal till the land was forsaken, and wrote it all down as the progress of man.
We'll continue with the way of life as we have it because it rewards too many people. There are too many people getting rich and wealthy off this way of life. The rewards are still good. There are plenty of benefits still to be reaped out there by continuing to practice this reward-based model of plunder, of capital, of affluence. And as long as the rewards are coming in, that model will continue to be practiced until it's in jeopardy, and until it's so in jeopardy that the entire population realizes there's a mortal threat to their whole way of life.
Experts, more education, more studies are never going to solve the problems in front of us. It's only thinking differently. And then in the people who do that from their individual genius, from the world speaking inside of them to them, unique solutions will come that all of us need to have.
What nature has told me is that no matter what we do, they're going to be here. Even if we destroy the planet with nuclear power, nature's going to be here. We may not be here, but some aspect of us will be here because this is all us.
The teaching for a lot of us is that dance is prayer. So when you're in that sacred space, when you go into that dance circle,
it becomes a prayer. Every step that you take becomes a prayer. There's a whole spectrum of emotion I have about it, because in this country it was illegal for Native people to have powwows for a long time. My grandparents couldn't do that, and I think those ancestors must be so pleased to have the people gathering together and in that space dancing. We have had the Garden of Eden here. We have this incredible, beautiful, miraculous, breathtaking world, and we've taken a path of technology that just to me every day seems like it's moving us farther and farther and farther away from the origins of who we are. There is magic around us all the time. There are miracles around us all the time.